Welcome back to your favorite soccer podcast. It is Compas FC on the Compas on the Beat Network. I am joined again by J.C. Cervantes, Eddie Rodriguez. You guys know these guys have been telling you the way it's going to go down since the beginning of the World Cup. Now it is all set. Argentina versus France. Kylian Mbappe, the young up-and-comer, against Lionel Messi, who's done it all, seen it all. It's going to be an interesting final, but obviously, how did we get to this point? But first, let's introduce him. JC, how are you doing today?
Could be better, was wishing for a better final, but here we are. It's a month, and this is what we got. So let's ride. Let's ride.
Madness all around. Eddie, how about you? How are you feeling after this crazy month?
You know, I'm exhausted. I'll tell you that. Been watching all the games. I've been going all out. You know it. JC knows it. Yeah, ready
It's funny, before we
for the
get
Premier
started,
League.
Eddie would hit me up and be like, bro, so what's up? Are we going to the bar? And I'm like, well, what time? 5:45. And I'm like, I don't even drink. And here I am showing up at a bar at 5:45 in the morning. And man, the only day that it was completely packed was at Team USA versus the Netherlands. The line was out the door, swung around the corner. Luckily, we were able to go to another bar and check it out. But I'm like, dang, this is crazy. Non-alcohol, a guy that doesn't drink and he's going around trying to find a bar. Where's the bar? Where can I find a TV? Definitely, this has been definitely a fun month, even though it wasn't supposed to happen right now. But hey, who are we to complain? Obviously, JC, I'm going to start with you. Actually, this is wrong. It was 3-0. Argentina goes and beats Croatia. It was a 3-0 contest. They advanced to the final. What was your biggest takeaway from the game between Argentina and Croatia?
Sum it up in one word: controversial. It unnecessarily. Honestly, I don't know how it really went about that way. How does somebody deliberately throw a handball in the air and not get a yellow card for it at least? We're just gonna kick balls into opposing teams' benches. A whole the games before, but here we are. Argentina, I guess, handled business. Croatia just sat back too much, and now that's our scoreline, 3-0. They run out of gas. I don't know. It's just a lot of question marks for the Croatian team. I have.
Eddie, what was your takeaway from this matchup?
It's a lot of controversy, but it's just the refereeing in general. This FIFA World Cup has been questionable at best. I think the PK was kind of soft. A lot of people are arguing about that. I think it's pretty soft. You seen Luka Modric after the match, not happy with how the referee was handling the game. I completely agree with him. I think 3-0 is kind of unfortunate because I thought that Croatia had moments. But yeah, Argentina moving on to the final.
Let me ask you, JC, starting or Eddie, starting off with you. It seems like Australia complained, the Netherlands complained, and now Croatia complained. Are you noticing a pattern? It feels like every team has kind of come out and complained about the way the refereeing has gone in the favor, and it's been against one team.
Yeah, let me put my tinfoil hat on and start the conspiracy theories going. But no, honestly, I think it's just the quality of the referees. It's in every league, and supposedly every country and every nation sending their best. But honestly, it's been poor, man. Like we should watch Liga MX, and we always complain about the officiating, and that's what it felt like. Like referees were being thrown into games where maybe they shouldn't have. You can go back to that Spanish referee versus the Netherlands where he threw out 17 yellow cards. Again, very questionable. The game completely got out of hand. He could have easily sent off Leo Messi, could have sent off Paredes. He could have sent off a couple players, even from the Netherlands team. Chose not to. Then we see this game here, more of the same, where just the referee doesn't have a real grasp of the game. It's unfortunate. I think it's just going to stain whoever wins this World Cup. I think, and eventually, it's not something that you want to like fully focus on, but it's definitely something that's been controversial, and I know a lot of people are complaining about it.
JC, it also happened on the other in the other bracket. I mean, it just didn't happen in this one. Portugal complained. I know Pepe complained about it a couple of times for Portugal. Some other teams have complained about it. What can you put your finger on it? What's going on?
Um, it, I I don't even know where to begin. It just, Eddie hit it right on the nose. We watch a lot of Liga MX football, and I mean, it's like, what's the VAR there for to begin with? It's that's the whole point of it being implemented to begin with. I feel like it's still not properly being used. The highlight of refereeing is probably going to be this new offside technology we got now. But that's pretty spot on, I guess. Multi-point cameras and all that. It's pretty genius, but it's not good. I don't like referees staying if their home nations are still in the final run. You can swear up and down you want that you don't care, but what's right is right. You don't need to have French refs refereeing games and so forth. It is a reoccurring theme, and unfortunately, it is going to give a black eye to this World Cup a little bit. Hopefully, it doesn't take over from who wins the cup. Still holding my breath on France for that one, and it sucks to see because you wait 4 years for it, and here we are that we got referees deciding games when it doesn't need to be that way. You need to leave it to the players.
And it seems, and Pepe was one of the ones that said this referee's Argentinian. Like he
Mm-hmm.
obviously doesn't want us to potentially face Argentina and stuff. So that's why it's, I think, created even more controversy. But going to this matchup, Eddie, was it a believable 3-0? Like, did you really think, oh wow, Argentina looks really strong, or was it one of those where you're like, like it could have gone either way if that maybe that penalty isn't called? Like Luka Modric said, he thought that penalty was a terrible call. Maybe if that penalty isn't called, it's a different matchup or a different result.
Yeah, no, I think it could have gone a different way if that penalty was never given. For me, Croatia has been or has had the best midfield throughout the tournament with Kovacic, Modric, and Brozovic, and arguably the best keeper in the tournament. They were a high possession team. I don't know. I think that the game could have definitely gone Croatia's way. Unfortunately, it didn't. Scoreline's 3-0, but honestly, it's not a believable 3-0, if you know what I'm saying.
Did you believe in it, JC, the 3-0?
No, not at all. No, it's one of those score lines where it doesn't tell you the story of the game. It's definitely one of those where how do you give a guy 2 attempts at the goal? To begin with, the keeper needs to defend his box, and that's just elementary fundamental of soccer. There, defend your box. You come on and be a keeper. And he stood still. The guy runs into him, and boom, he gets awarded the pen. And it changes the whole game for you.
Yeah, I know. And that second goal was that was a weird one too. But let me ask you guys, going back, and we're only talking about this side of the bracket. We're not talking about the other one. Did the right team make it to the final from this bracket in your guys' opinion? Did the right team make it to the final, JC?
No, not for me. It's still, banking on Brazil going further. Tite fortunately choked and bottled that one, but he don't know. That's why he doesn't have a job anymore. But definitely I was banking on Brazil going further and all the way to the final.
If it would have been Brazil, Argentina, what do you think happens there?
Oh, Brazil still takes it for sure. They would have outplayed them, outclassed them. They weren't going to sit back and wait for Argentina to play their game. They were going to come out and play, good old fashioned joga bonito like they had been, and just, wipe the floor with them.
Eddie, what do you think about? Did the correct team make it to the final?
I think they were lucky, to be fair. I think Argentina, their opening game against Saudi Arabia, they were exposed. And I think Tata Martino in Mexico really just handed them the game, if we're being completely honest. I did expect them to beat Poland. I didn't think Poland really showed a whole lot, but I thought that Mexico was a lot stronger than Poland, and the Saudi Arabians shocked the whole world, right? So, yeah, I think they're lucky that they're here in the final now. I think they could have lost along the way to the Netherlands. I think the Netherlands had all the momentum to put that game away, but again, questionable refereeing, Messi not being sent off during extra time. I think they're lucky to be here, if we're being completely honest.
Let me ask you guys. Now going over to the Croatian side, you make it to the final, you win the Ballon d'Or, and now you make it to the semifinal. Is Luka Modric, should he be considered, is he an underrated maybe midfield GOAT? JC, do you feel like maybe he is one of the best midfielders of all time after he's won at Real Madrid, he's won on the well, I mean, he hasn't won he didn't win the World Cup, but he damn near made it with a
Runners
team that
up,
was
man.
runners up in 2018, almost, and this year they're semifinalists, and he's won the Ballon d'Or. Do you feel like he's underrated?
Oh, 100%. They don't talk about Luka Modric enough. He definitely, it's easy to overlook him, you know. He might not be the best looking guy, and he might not be in all the commercials and all the videos and all that stuff, but the guy comes to play, and he's been playing since he was at Tottenham, and before that, that's when I first knew about him, when he got signed over there. And when he makes the transfer over to Real Madrid and just everything he was able to do, there was question marks like, can he
You
play
mean when
Real
Eddie
Madrid?
told you about Luka Modric?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he had him scouted when he was
absolutely
when he was in the training ground 6 years old. But no, but definitely. I mean, I remember when he got signed, it was like, who is this guy? Why are they bringing him over to Real Madrid, the biggest team on earth at the time?
Worst signing of Real Madrid, according to Fox Sports, worst signing in Real Madrid history.
And then he's just busting the Brady now. Like, he literally is just doing the Brady. One more year, one more go. And he's showing up every time. And every single time, it's like he's getting better and better and better. The guy's an absolute unit. He's got lungs for days, and he definitely is underrated. For me, at least, he can make any best starting 11 for sure in the center mid.
Eddie, same question. And then also, did he look like one of the best midfielders in the World Cup, even with all these young kids coming up and everything?
He's still one of the best midfielders in the world, even if he's pushing 37, 38. Is he underrated? I'll give you that he was underrated in his time at Spurs. I think he was undervalued and underappreciated. But you know who did appreciate him? Jose Mourinho. And that's who brought him over to Real Madrid back in 2011. And everyone laughed at him. And it was like, hey, what are you doing bringing Luka Modric? He's undersized. He doesn't have the technical ability to play at Real Madrid. And what did Mourinho come out and say? Listen, years from now, you guys are going to look back and you guys are going to say Jose Mourinho was right. He said you guys are going to fall in love with Luka Modric. He's going to be one of your best players, one of your key players for years to come, and he was right. And I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, I think what I think is funny is that when Kevin De Bruyne, for example, came out and said that their Belgian team is just too old and they can't run and they can't do this and they can't score goals. Like, Kevin De Bruyne is like 4 or 5 years younger than Luka Modric. And Luka Modric runs circles around Kevin De Bruyne.
Remember what Thibaut Courtois said?
Exactly.
Thibaut Courtois said, hey, at Real Madrid, we got Toni Kroos, Karim Benzema, we have Luka Modric, and we don't have any problem scoring goals.
Yeah. And they don't have no problems winning titles either. So, it's different mentality. There's different levels to these players. And Kevin De Bruyne is a great player. Don't get me wrong. One of the best in the Premier League. He's going to go down as one of the best midfielders ever. But he's not at that level of Luka Modric. He's not at that level.
I completely agree. Now let's move over to the other bracket where France beats Morocco 2-0. And France advances to the finals. If France wins on Sunday, this would be the first repeat since Brazil did it in 56 and 60, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was like 60 years.
Yeah, 60 years ago. So that would be
Italians.
JC, how did France beat Morocco? Morocco had only allowed one own goal, and I think that was it during the whole tournament. So how were they able to do this?
It was a dream scenario for France. They basically scored on the first clear chance they had. Shout out Griezmann. He really just deked the defender. He really deked him. Like, if you just see, it's one simple body feint, makes the defender go one way, he goes the other, and then just gets into open space. He does what he does, and then he got it off to Kylian Mbappe, and there was a wall in front of him. But that finish by Hernandez was just, I don't even have words for it. It was just, it's class. It's almost like makes you feel like the guy's on some Gareth Bale left back playing just the whole left side vibes.
I think you know what? I think I got something for you.
Oh, let's see.
It's ecstasy! A stunning
That's
This is not just a dream, it's a wet dream of orgasmic proportions.
oh,
Legend.
Roy. Oh, I love it. No, definitely. The guy just honestly runs the left side, and I wasn't anticipating for him to score at all. Like he wasn't even on my ones to watch list for this game. I just wanted
Yeah.
him to be strong defensively, pops up, bangs in the goal, dream start for France, and they just managed the game after that. Everybody, ice in their veins, and just executed. There really wasn't much of a panic for them, even though
Yeah.
Morocco had a few chances. They never, seemed phased, and they just finished. Job not done. One more game.
Unfortunately for his brother Lucas, he went down towards ACL, which it's funny, you rarely see in soccer. I wonder if it's because of the natural grass that they play on, and they don't play on turf as much as NFL players do. So I wonder if maybe that's something that has something to do with it. But Lucas is more. He stays back. He does his job. He's a stone wall in a sense. And Theo's one of these guys that just comes up, and we saw it at Real Madrid. Sometimes I remember Zinedine Zidane or one of the managers would get mad at him because sometimes he would come all the way up. He'd be involved, but then tracking back, he wouldn't track back as quickly. Seems like he's learned from it. Now AC Milan, he's been a killer all season for AC Milan. I think that's where he's at, and he tracks back, and he does that all well. So it seems like he's learned, and he's grown a lot since that time. But Eddie, what do you think about him, and what has he added to since Lucas went down? What do you think Theo has added to France?
Well, it's like you said, I think he's added another dimension to the game. He's another outlet. He's someone that can, ask for the ball from the midfielders and, create his own space. I think that's the most important thing and alleviate some of that pressure that maybe Mbappe has, when three defenders come and try to cover him. I think he's been great, and he's been doing this for AC Milan now for a couple years now, and he did have his issues defensively, where like you mentioned, he's great offensively, but he had to work on the defensive side of the ball, and I think he's shown a lot this World Cup. I still think that he was somewhat exposed in the England game. I think we saw a couple chances there where it could have gone. Yes, he did. He could have easily given up a pen or X, Y, and Z. But yeah, no, I think good for him, good for France. You have a left back for years now.
Eddie, should he start moving Mbappe around maybe a little bit, not just keeping him on the left side, maybe letting him move around different ways, or is he okay where he's at? Because I've seen on social media some people are questioning now Mbappe because he hasn't scored in the last two games, which is actually pretty funny to me. Because another player just keeps on scoring penalties, and we call another certain player Penaldo, and we don't make fun of the other guy for scoring penalties.
Yeah,
I think I read the other day 8 of Messi's goals in the World Cup have come via penalty, which is crazy. But my bad, we're not talking about that. But do you think they're playing? Do you think Mbappe's okay where he's at right now and the way they're playing him?
I think he's fine. I think he's creating space for other players. I mean, you don't necessarily have to be the one scoring the goals if you are creating that threat for your team. So every time he gets the ball, you see how players just gravitate to him, and he's pulling one mark, he's pulling another, and so far no one's had an answer for him. And I think if Deschamps wants to win this World Cup and go back to back, I think you keep playing the way you play. Why fix it or why change it if it's not broken?
J.C.
Same. Definitely agree. He's a very mature footballer, especially for his age. And that's the thing about it. Neymar used to do the same thing. Cristiano, same thing. Bale, same thing. You're going to get double, triple team. While you're doing, you have to understand mentally you're just creating spaces for your team. And, at this point in the day, you're in the World Cup, whatever it takes to win. And if that means you get double, triple teamed and you can't bag a goal, but your team still wins, a win's a win. And you could probably care less about a Golden Boot trophy, although it would look nice, and to beat a specific someone out for it is always going to be a feather in your cap for the locker room. But, I definitely wouldn't move him. He doesn't need to move. His pace is most and best used on the left wing, and he plays free anyway. Sometimes he's on the left and he pops up in the middle, then he ends up on the right somehow. Then there's some counterattack and he's just chunking his way up down the other side. And he plays free. You know, his position is left wing, but he knows what to do there, and he's very mature for his age, and it helps a lot.
JC, how impressed are you with France making it to the final? They were on the harder. I thought they were on the way harder side of the bracket. They had to. They no Kante, no Pogba, no Karim Benzema, no.
Oh, stop it.
No, no, no. There's some of
Don't
the players haven't
start.
been there. Rubio had an illness. We don't know if his status going into Sunday. And some of the injuries that they've had, and they're there in the final. I mean, what does that say about France and the way they've been able to bounce back even with all those injuries?
You know, the only question mark I had for the French team was, can they get a new holding mid to, you know, really fill in that spot at that high level? And, you know, to fill in N'Golo Kante's shoes is a big deal. I mean, you're not just replacing some chip off, you know, some random guy off the couch. This is the guy. This is the holding mid, the standard. Everybody wants a Kante. So, you know, as long as I said it a while back, as long as you can find who can hold your mid, you're going to be fine. And you're going to be looking at a repeat. And they did it, you know. Nothing against Tushmeni or, as I saw, man. He showed up and he played well and he lived up to the occasion. And it was more or less just a question of maturity for me, for him. Fofana today didn't look too bad either. He was, you know, plays a little different when it comes to the position, but his presence was definitely felt and it was there. But I'm not surprised, to be honest. They did have the tougher side, but it's that team is triple stacked. You can make like 3 teams out of that team. So they're all starters in this narrative of injured players. It does hit them a little bit, but when you look at the talent pool, it doesn't really hit them that hard. You want to see those guys, but it's not something you really, you know, hold against them. What if it's non-existent?
Eddie, same question.
I mean, there's something to be said about the squad, right? And there's something to be said about the Champs. And you have a lot of players in this group that have been there and done that. And I think if we look back at this World Cup, there's definitely been a lot of teams that have that talent, that have that player experience at maybe club level, Champions League level, but not at a World Cup. So you look at this Morocco game, there was times where Morocco looked like they were going to maybe squeak out a goal or two. To be fair to Morocco, they had the variety of the possession. But the difference is that a lot of these French players have been at the World Cup, have been at the stage, and were able to take advantage and use that experience to close out the game. Morocco couldn't capitalize. Obviously, this is the first time they've ever reached the semifinals. And then you saw a French team that just needed one more opportunity to put the game away, and they took advantage of it, and that's what happened.
If so from what we've been reading, Karim Benzema could still play on this team if they wanted him back for Sunday's final. I don't know what your opinions are. I mean, I wouldn't rock the boat. I guess you're in a good place right now. Benzema hasn't been around the team. He hasn't been there. He's been kind of on holiday, getting ready for the back end of Real Madrid season. Neither one of you would bring him back, right? Like you're already where you're at. You're in the final with this team. You don't rock the boat, do you?
Why wouldn't you want to bring back a Ballon d'Or winner, a
bringing
guy
him
that
back.
scored
really?
30 plus goals?
I'm bringing him back.
Last season, someone you planned with that's gonna be there for you at the World Cup. I mean, he wasn't Deschamps' plans, so don't get me wrong that there's no place for him on this team.
Okay, do you think they do it?
They bring him back. They don't start him. I think Giroud right now is in his moment, and I don't think you bench Giroud to bring on Benzema. But I do think that if it's a tight game, you do bring on Benzema, maybe give him 15 minutes, maybe 20 at most, to try to bag you a goal.
JC?
As we've seen before, he only needs 3 minutes for 2 goals. So the man is a masterclass. Honestly, you were banking on him coming in. He just won the Ballon d'Or. It's almost like a huge Benzema party because he hasn't really been able to be a part of French national teams for some time because of some things he's done. You know, nothing to be said about
and he was
that.
blacklisted.
But and you know, for the things he's done, of course, with good reason, I would say so. But definitely, he deserves to be there, even if it is just to be on the bench. If I'm Deschamps, I got him on a plane now. Yeah, I had him on a plane, at 90th minute when the coach blew the whistle. Somebody's on the phone calling somebody over in Spain and ordering up the PJs because my man's got to be here to lift that trophy. And he was, one of the guys I was most looking forward to. And to be honest with you, could have easily won the Golden Boot. And he wouldn't have needed a lot of time to win it either. The way that team was moving and the way he was going to link with Griezmann and Mbappe, Gerard, who your record and all that, who cares, man? Step over Benzema, the Balón de Oro show.
That would have been interesting, guys. Before we move on to the other games, the 2 games left, what did this run mean for Morocco, JC or Eddie, yeah, JC? What did this run mean for Morocco? I mean, an African team making it to the semifinal. Do you feel like other countries are maybe starting to catch up a little bit to maybe the European style and the South American style and everything, or do you feel like maybe this was a one-off?
No, not at all. I'm always excited for the next African nation team to blow up in the World Cup because the surprise, number one, but it also elevates the level of play. I mean, you now see how many different, nations playing in European teams. Like there's Senegal players, there's players from Cameroon and, all over the country and all over the world. And they did have a few players that, decided to become Moroccan for the World Cup. And, it is what it is. And they're bringing and elevating football and they're shedding light. They share a border with Spain. So they're always going to have players that are going to come over just to get that chance to play. But they took advantage of it. I love to see it. They always like those surprises. And the semifinal opens a lot of doors for, a lot of kids down there too, to go ahead and dream. It's okay to go, be from Morocco and aspire to be a great footballer like Ziyech and all these other guys that you see just kind of, wreaking havoc in the Premier League. And, he even destroyed Real Madrid on that Ajax team. And he was a big deal. So I love to see it. I'm excited for I had to drop that on there, 10 high. But for sure.
Feels like he's getting weighted now at Chelsea too.
A little bit. That Potter guy. Yeah. I don't know why they got rid of Tuchel.
Eddie, what do you think? What did this run mean for Morocco?
Well, for Morocco, it's historic, right? But I think for, like JC said, like all these African teams, I think it goes to show that if they're able to retain their talent, in most cases, they're able to do good in tournaments. And, shout out to Morocco, shout out to Amrabat, who was arguably one of the best players in the tournament. I know his transfer fee just went from 10 million to maybe we're talking 35, 40 now. I think, I just want to throw that out there. Speculation. Looks like a Cholo Simeone born and bred player. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, I think it's great. If he stays, I think it's great for all of Africa. I think it's great for Morocco, and I think it's great for all the neutral fans.
I don't know if you guys saw Shakira kept on saying, like, putting out the tweet, like, this is like every time Morocco would win, she'd tweet, somebody would tweet, either she would or somebody else would. This is for Africa, and like her dancing and doing all like that music video. I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay. But so obviously we can spend as much time on this next topic as you guys want. We can either do 5 minutes, no minutes. You guys let me know. Croatia versus Morocco for the third place team Saturday, December 17th at 7 a.m. No matter who it's playing, I'll still watch it. I want to watch Morocco and Croatia. Why not? JC, are you excited for this game? What do you think about it?
I'm only excited because they're going to hand out a medal, I guess. How excited I am of the color of the medal, bronze, second loser. Not really too concerned about that outcome, but just to see Croatia and Morocco have added the 2 best condition teams, I guess you could say, after a nice little rest that they get, just have added it, fastest, most athletic and overpowering team is going to win. And, I'm not too excited about it, but hopefully, another badge for Morocco wouldn't be too bad. Another medal for Modric would be another story. But, it's third place.
Real quick, Eddie, I'm just going to ask JC, if you're Modric, do you play?
You make an appearance. You got to make an appearance. You're like the heart and soul of that team. It could possibly be your last and final World Cup. I don't know if he's come out and said it yet, if it will be or won't be.
He said he's going to see in what kind of shape he is for the 2026 World Cup. He would be 41 years old.
They Pepe made it, so I don't see why not.
Incredible.
But if he's not saying that this is his last World Cup, then you can expect to see Modric. He's got
Eddie, any excitement for this game?
I mean, just if it's Modric's last World Cup and to see if Morocco can get this bronze medal, but I'm not a fan of participation trophies. So honestly, like I might skip this game. Sorry for all you Croatian and Morocco fans, but I mean, what is this YSO soccer? Like we don't give out participation trophies here. So
I shouldn't even ask who you guys think is going to win the game.
I'll go Croatia.
I'll go Morocco.
There you go. So that's what the guys think. All right, now Sunday, December 18th, 7 a.m. France and Argentina take the field. This could be the last time Lionel Messi takes the field. Angel Di Maria takes the field. Giroud, I think this might be one of the final times that he probably takes the field. So definitely interesting. Some of the storylines on this, I see it. Well, the way the whole world is seeing it is the young up and comer, Kylian Mbappe against. But I think the kid's already arrived. I think he's here. I don't think he's up and comer. I think he's already here. He's at the big boy table.
Yeah, he's here.
Facing off against. Exactly. You know what? And I was thinking about it, and this kid legit could be in GOAT conversation in the next 10 years. He already has one World Cup. If he picks up 100%. This one, this kid's he's something else. But it's going up against Lionel Messi, who a lot of people. I'm not in that. I don't know if you guys are. I don't consider him the GOAT. I'm just not. I'm not there. I think he's in the table next to the GOAT's table. I mean, yeah, he's right there. But I don't see him as the GOAT. But definitely should be an interesting matchup. Two different styles of play. So obviously, I'm going to start off with Eddie. Eddie, what do you make of this matchup?
I think what's the most exciting headline, right? Mbappe winning his second and going back to back, and 2026 he can maybe three-peat. And El Rey Pelé, shout out. Like you say, he's here, he's arrived, and I think France is still going to be one of the favorites in 2026, even 2030. Or you have Lionel Messi, who after defeat in Brazil against the Germans gets his World Cup, retires from international play, and rides the sunset to Inter Miami. So, which one of the two is the best headline? It's debatable. I'm going to go with Mbappe raising his second World Cup and Deschamps going back to back. But the bookmakers think differently. I think they're thinking that Argentina are the favorites to win it. So should be a good matchup. Should be a tight game. I don't expect a blowout or anything. But, yeah, I mean, let's see what happens.
J.C., what do you think about this matchup?
Let's bring it home. Let's bring it back home. Let's Blues all the way. And, the only home it was going to go to was to France. If it wasn't going to go to Brazil, and here we are. I'm excited about it. Argentina, I don't think have a favorable matchup this time around, and they're not going to face a team that's going to sit back and let them do what they want, like all the other teams have done, and that's going to be the first thing that they're going to have to worry about. They
haven't faced anything like this. They haven't faced anybody that's going to take it to them. The Netherlands did it in the last few minutes of the game, and they cooked them.
Exactly, and that's what my biggest frustration. They sure did, and that was my biggest frustration in that game, because it was a very winnable game for the Netherlands. You saw me blowing up the group chat. Game the blueprint, man. Just push the line. It's not a difficult game when you're Netherlands and you're not gassed. You didn't, you have all the energy. You've been playing slow football. You conserved, a good amount of players.
Pragmatic football. Pragmatic.
Oh, yeah, my bad. It's winning football, right? What did he say? We can win, or we can play pretty, or
he can play total football, which is what people want him to play, or he can play pragmatically. And he chose the pragmatic way, and that's correct. I think for the pool of players he had.
So definitely France all the way.
So obviously, and I mean, I'm not trying to, because I mean, Argentina, they made it. They're in the World Cup final. but I don't think they face anything like Kylian Mbappe at all. Maybe the closest thing was Chucky Lozano in the second game, and
Oh
Chucky runs out of
no!
gas at one point.
What are you
Kylian
doing?
Mbappe does not run out of gas at all. The
Oh
dude's
no!
going back and forth, back and forth. He does not stop. And the way Argentina plays, no, well, the reason why I mentioned that, Argentina pushes all their guys up and they start playing. Well, you've seen it. We've seen it. I saw it last year when Real Madrid played PSG. That's where they messed up in the second game. In the second game, they stopped going to those long passes to Kylian because Madrid started putting Militao and Carvajal on him, and they weren't letting him go crazy like that. But in this game, I think that's what they're going to end up doing. They're going to end up sending those long passes to Kylian, and he's going to be on a breakaway, maybe one-on-one with an Argentina defender, get past him and just be one-on-one with the goalie. So I just feel like Argentina hasn't faced anything like this. I don't know, Eddie, what you think, but I just don't think they face anything like what Kylian Mbappe is going to bring to them on Sunday.
Well, it's not just Kylian Mbappe. I mean, I don't think they faced a player like Griezmann that can open up the play, that can create his own shot, that can, you know. Hey man, we don't want to get into that, but
Yeah, well, you were
on top
screaming it
of
was
that,
coming home.
I think their midfield is a lot better than Argentina's, and I've been saying this the whole tournament that I think a lot of teams' midfield was way better than Argentina's. So yeah, I
Tchouameni's going to give
mean,
them trouble.
absolutely, and I think if you can rattle a DePaul, I don't think Fernandez has that experience to hold the midfield by himself.
Not yet.
And they're going to over rely again on Messi, and they're just going to swarm him. And yeah, so for sure.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I'm not like I said, I'm not trying to yeah, you're right. Griezmann obviously has been the playmaker. He's been the Steve
man of the
Nash,
tournament for them.
He's been the Chris Paul. He's been the one dribbling and getting guys the ball when they need it. But I just meant like just Kylian's speed is just something that I don't think these guys have faced at all. And I feel like this Argentina side is a little slow, a little tired, and I feel like that's the thing. Mbappe doesn't lose energy. If anything, as the game goes on, he builds on that.
This is Mbappe savoring this match against Otamendi and Romero, looking like Ronaldinho at Milan, just licking his lips like, man, I'm just gonna go at these clunks and watch me go, and that's what's gonna happen. Watch, because Otamendi
do they play at Tronco
is
FC?
being rated as one of the best center backs of the tournament, which he hasn't. Like honestly, I don't rate him. You just said what?
They play at Tronco FC.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Tronco FC. There you go, looking like Hector Moreno and Nestor Araujo and stuff. Like, come on, you can't rate
That's
these
your
guys.
boy.
Otamendi,
Don't diss your boys like that.
Otamendi's over the hill. Romero is still kind of inexperienced, even though he's at Spurs. Acuna kind of clumsy. Who's really
Eddie,
out there is just Lisandro Martinez, really.
Eddie, I could see a blowout France's way, to be honest. I think if France hits one, France could go crazy.
We didn't really see that this World Cup. We saw France maybe, squeak out some results 2-0. Again, right now, I didn't really see them.
That's what happened last time too. They just squeaked out a couple, and then against Croatia, they went nuts and they scored 4, and they were up 4-0.
Can they do that? Can they do that? Yeah, absolutely. They can do that. Do I see them doing that? I don't think so. I think, again, they're going to be able to manage the game a lot better than this Argentinian team. And if they do score first and score early, then I think it's a wrap. You see me today. As soon as France scored at the 6th minute, I texted the group chat. What did I say? It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
A lock? No, it was a lock.
No, it's a lock.
J.C., how tough is it going to be for Argentina to defend this French attack?
Oh, it's a headache. I mean, Giroud easily can run through Otamendi and Romero, and I don't even rate Giroud like that. They don't have an answer for him. I mean, you can literally just remove Mbappe from the team, and they're still going to have a headache. I don't see them being better than France at any position, really, to be honest with you. You want to call out starting 11s and go player for player. You're going to side, neutrally with the French side, and you really have to put your Messi shirt on to really bank that player for player Argentina are better. And, France hasn't been in any battles. They're preserved. They are getting away clean every single game. So if they really want to go and push it and go all out, which I don't think they're going to really go out there and go all gung ho first 20 minutes. If they bag a goal in the first 10 minutes, it's gonna blow up. But player for player, France is just got to beat in the 10. It's a nightmare matchup for him.
Except for Lloris, I would say Emi Martinez a lot better than Lloris. I think Lloris is super mistake prone, and I hope we see World Cup Lloris, France Lloris, opposed to Spurs Lloris.
Yeah, you just ask England about Lloris.
Well, Rabiot should be back for this one, I think.
Oh, Rabiot, yeah, that's
with an illness,
big
but
miss, right?
I don't really need him.
When you look at this matchup, what can J.C. what can France or what can Argentina do to pull off? I don't know if it's an upset, but because I think a lot of people are leaning that way. But what can they do to pull off this game?
They're gonna have to play their game. They're gonna have to play their game and hopefully execute. It's gonna be difficult. I'm looking at the lineup now that they just ran against Croatia, 4-4-2. Fernandez in the middle, Paredes in the middle, which has been their engine. Enzo has been box to box, but it's the experience factor. A lot of guys. It's a very, very big stage, and their first World Cup for a lot of these guys. I don't know. I don't see an out for Argentina. They're really just going to sit there and hit France all game and hopefully escape the game without a red. It's difficult to tell. They're now on the ref tracker now, since all these games and all these refs have to leave now because of them. You really can't bank on the ref giving them another pen like they've been getting, and it's difficult. It's difficult. Do I see it happening? It could happen for sure. It happened today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, happened yesterday, yeah. So it could happen again. But they're on notice, and it's a tough tell. Nobody's been able to figure out France. They're too talented in too many positions, and it's too many headaches. You can't go one side, then the other side, and then the middle, and then the top, and the back, and then freaking Lucas is dipping up the left side. You don't even know where to begin.
Eddie, what does Argentina need to do to pull off the upset?
Well, we have it as an upset, right? Most people have it as them being the favorites, but I think you want to alleviate the pressure on Messi. You want to make sure that Messi can have those little bursts of pace, can do some of these little body feints that he's used to doing to create space for others. I think if you release Julian Alvarez, you've seen this kid can run, and I'm so mad at whoever told Ralph Ragnick no at United, because he was a United target. I'm still salty about that. If you let him run and cause havoc, you might have a shot. Fernandez has been playing out of his mind. His Benfica is just going like this too, because that's another player they're going to sell for millions. Just alleviate the pressure on Messi. Alleviate the pressure on Messi and allow Messi to have those little moments that I'm not going to lie, he has had. There was one goal against Croatia where you seen it, where he ran down the wing and was able to beat the defender and give the assist. So those are the type of moments you want. Those are the type of moments you want from your best player, right? So can they do that? Will they do that? It's yet to be seen, but I think that's the key.
The only one I can give him is that goal against the Netherlands. That first one, that was a nice goal. Other than that, or was it Australia? Might have been Australia.
You don't like the Mexico goal?
It was Australia. The back control, I think, by was it Lautaro, and then the Mexico goal. Don't talk about that stuff.
The captain of Tronco FC, Hector Herrera.
Ochoa was way off his line.
He scored on
Ochoa was way off his line. Herrera gave him all the space.
Another one that still hasn't said that he's retired from the national team. Watch, Memo's going to be there for 2026.
Oh, the young guns will try already. Then.
Exactly.
Jurado's there. Come on now. That's a different.
So, let me just ask you before we go to predictions. JC, if Messi loses finish the sentence. If Messi loses this, or well, not finish the sentence, but just react to it. If Messi loses this World Cup, does that take a hit on his legacy?
It has to. It should. But will it? No. There's always going to be that but in that huge asterisk that they're going to throw out there, and they're always going to try to bank something. It will. In Argentina, it definitely will, because they already don't really rate him at the same level of, crazy Theo Maradona. It's just he's not even
By
close
the
to
way,
him
I'm surprised that they haven't pulled that out yet. And I think they're waiting.
because they're
They're
winning.
waiting. They're
Because
waiting
they're
for
winning.
if he wins the final, they're waiting to pull that out and be like, "Oh, he did it for Maradona." I think they're waiting for that moment too.
Messi's come
I'm
out
telling
and
you,
said and has
I got
said
a
it.
little PR in my head.
Yeah,
Messi said
that
it.
guy
I
right
think he
there.
said it.
You think
I do appreciate
Yeah.
him finally showing a little bit of the mean streak. I give him that for going, up to Van Gaal and finally letting that out. Because I mean,
I
it's a
didn't like
crazy
that.
sport. I don't mind seeing it at all. I'd be that
Yeah.
petty. I'm petty. I don't care. I'll do it.
I didn't like that.
But it's just it's a breaking character for him. But I really feel like there is going to be an asterisk for him. The Argentinian crowd is still going to definitely, not forgive him for losing another World Cup and not getting them another major trophy because the way they won that Copa America wasn't that great. Well, Brazilian players had to leave early. There's controversy through and through, and to finally win a tournament the real way is going to be a huge thing. But I don't see him winning the game, and there's going to be a lot of backlash for him, and he's not
You're
going to hear
right.
the end of it. Didn't he even quit on the team at one point?
Yeah, he's already
Also, if I
retired
remember
one.
correctly, said he
He
retired
busted a
because he couldn't
Carlos
take
Vela
it.
and come beg me to come back type of thing.
Don't talk about the best player ever, bro.
All right, that's a different podcast.
No, but I mean, it's just he needs to have the asterisk, but it's not gonna happen.
Eddie, what do you think? Does this legacy take a hit if he loses this World Cup again?
The media has Messi as the superhero and the almighty, and Ronaldo as the villain. And no matter what Messi does, you'll never have that asterisk on him. Maybe in Argentina, some of the media will take a shot at him, like you're talking all this mess to coaches and players, and you're showing a lot of banter and a different side of you that we haven't seen before. And for what? What do you have to show for it? Nothing. You look like a fool. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it tarnishes his legacy in any way. I think whether he wins or loses, well, if he wins, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, look, this separates Messi from Ronaldo, and the debate's over, and he's the GOAT, this and that." But I mean, yeah.
I mean, they've gifted him 3 Ballon d'Ors. I mean, he should be at 4, but they gifted him 3 extra.
I'll say they gifted him at least 2. They gifted him at least 2. I'll say, but I'm not even gonna try to get into his politics. Put that thinking hat on again.
I know. I feel you, Eddie. Who wins on Sunday?
I think France win in extra time, and the ghost haunts Messi again in extra time, and they end up losing the game 2-1. France.
Bro, I have to drive up to Chargers that day. I don't want extra time. Just let it be over in normal time. I know. I'm mad. I'm big mad. J.C., your prediction?
Duchamps and Les Blues do it again. It's happening. I think 90 minutes for sure. I don't think they'll need more than that. I really think that Deschamps has a really good thing going, and he's got everybody bought in, and everybody wants it just as bad, if not more, than the coach. So those guys will make sure to go out there and execute and leave it all on the field like they have been. And you've seen it every single game. They're waiting for this game, the final, and they're going to show up and they're going to handle business.
Score prediction?
Oof, damn, I really want to see like a 4-0, a crazy little thrashing, but I don't know. We'll see. It depends because it's so many variables for that to happen. But I think it'll be,
look at him sitting on the
probably 2-0, 2-0 probably. Yeah. I'll say France.
I'll say 2-1. Argentina gets one right before the end of the game.
A penalty? A penalty?
The way this has been going, I think so.
Interesting.
By the way, Kylian could, by the next World Cup, he could, like Messi, I think has 11 goals. Kylian's at 9. If Kylian doesn't score a hat trick on Sunday, he could smash that record by the next World Cup. It's incredible. Now let's go through some rapid fire questions, just based off of what's been going on. Obviously, I know you guys have been listening to all the Gio Reyna versus Greg Berhalter. Obviously, for folks who haven't heard, Gio and Greg got into it because Gio wasn't playing. Gio said, "I'm fit." Greg said he wasn't. Greg came out and he was at a leadership summit, and he started talking smack about how there was a player on the team that wasn't agreeing with what they were doing. He was very controversial, and that they were thinking about sending him home, but the team decided not to send him home. Well, there's now rumors that Gio's dad, who used to play with Greg in the national team, called Greg and said, "Don't send my boy home. He'll be better. Don't worry." And that he asked him to not send Gio home. Gio stayed, but now Greg Berhalter's contract is up, and I got to ask you guys first, JC. Should the Team USA re-sign Greg Berhalter? Whose side do you take on this? What from Gio and Greg?
No, I'm done with Greg since the Netherlands games. He, like I said, he spent more time picking shoes than he did setting up for this game. I don't know how you start Ferreira in the most important game for you. You literally start Ferreira over Gio Reyna.
He's no Gordon Bombay.
Why? Like, really, what is the why behind starting Ferreira over Gio Reyna? What resume does Ferreira present you that qualifies him to start the round of 16 game? And that, if you don't want to start Gio Reyna, okay, over Sargent, like, really, like, I mean, the guy's just making decisions based off of his ego or emotions. I don't know.
Rotation, player rotation.
Sargent's, we get back-to-back starts, and now we're going to round the 16 do or die time, and let's go in the, they're not ready. Let's throw Ferreira in there, curveball, and let me go back to picking shoes. But I don't know, to him not even see the pitch till late, it was frustrating for me, because that's who I really wanted to see for USA, link up with that midfield, because that midfield was literally set for him to just play how he plays, free roaming, creative football. Don't worry about defending. Attack. Greg out. Hashtag. Start it. Let's do it.
So you take Gio side?
Oh, all day for sure. I mean, how do you start Ferreira over him?
No, yeah. Eddie, do you re-sign him, and whose side are you on?
I mean, if you're U.S. Soccer, right, I think they're in love with Greg Berhalter because he exceeded their expectations. Got out of the group undefeated. Got him to the round of 16, has taken his young core of players and have won trophies with them. As far as whose side I'm on, I'm really on no one's side. I think both of them are at fault. I think Greg Berhalter betrayed the trust of his players by going to that leadership conference and speaking about things that are supposed to stay in-house. And I think Gio Reyna showed his immaturity when Greg Berhalter came to him, if the reports are true, before the World Cup, saying, "Hey, we're taking you, but you're going to have a limited role and you're not really going to get that many minutes." I think if I'm Gio Reyna and I hear that, I'll be upset, but I'll use that as, hey, you know what? I got to show up every day at practice, because next man up. Or, maybe Greg Berhalter told him that to try to get him motivated. And if he did that, then that means he's just out of touch with his players. This is a new generation of players. And it's not, I'm 29 years old. So when I was growing up and my coach would tell me, "Hey, you're not going to get any playing time," and we're practicing, best believe I'm going 110% because I'm trying to be on that field. Now, players don't react that way. Players, if you tell them something like that, they're going to react the way Gio Reyna did and show a bad attitude, not give 110%, and be a bad teammate. So, shame on both of them. More shame on Greg Berhalter because you don't do that to your players and you never throw your players under the bus. So, yeah.
So let's move on real quick. There is a rumor that Carlo Ancelotti, Real Madrid's manager, is being looked at for the Brazilian job. He has said that he's going to stay at Real Madrid until his contract is up until 2024. But obviously, you have to be a little bit interested. I mean, Vinicius is a guy that he's been coaching up. He's coached him up very well. There's other guys. There's other players there. You have Neymar. You have other superstars. JC, is this a job that that Carlo should be interested in? Or would you say at Real Madrid?
No, honestly, I think you finish your stay at Madrid. You still have a lot to, sit back and wait for with that midfield and that fresh talent pool he's going to bring in. People forget how good of a squad builder Ancelotti really is. And I personally believe if he's going to go take an international job, it should be the Italian job because they have a lot of redemptions that they need to, handle, and the way they flunked out after Euro Cup and the way they won that, playing their football, but not to qualify, was kind of frustrating for me. But I still think that the man for the job for Brazil is Jorge Jesus. I sent it to Eddie a while back, and I think the way he plays and everything he does, and just the way he gets a team to move, and the way he's already won in in the Brazilian league, is going to speak volumes because he can take that talent from the league and incorporate it all together, and he has a good sense of what it is to play with Brazilian players already. I'd take
Eddie,
Ancelotti for Italy, bring in some fresh blood for Brazil.
Eddie, same question for you.
I think that's tough. I mean, if you're Ancelotti, you've already achieved everything you wanted at club level, right? But you're also at one of, or not the biggest club in the world, and him and Papa Perez, talking about Florentino, have a great working relationship, right? Do you stay and then you keep bringing the glory to Real Madrid and see Vinicius grow into the player you're molding him into, or do you
By the way,
go and
Vinicius
try a
shouted him
different
out the other
challenge?
day. Vinicius shouted
Hey,
him out the other day and said, "Hey, he's the reason why I've really grown as a player. He's the guy that's had patience with me, and I really appreciate the love and respect." I mean, Fede Valverde, the same thing.
look,
Hey, if you don't hit 10 goals, I'm out of here. And Fede's already hit 8 to start the year. So you can tell
look.
the players really love him.
Remember, let's remember when Vinicius started, and he would do too many tricks and flicks, and sometimes he wouldn't like complete the trick or the flick or complete the right pass. He was getting booed at the Bernabeu, and now he's one of
Yeah,
their best players. So shout out Ancelotti. So if I'm Ancelotti, does the Brazil project interest you? I think so. I think it interests any coach. Would I leave Real Madrid at this point and stage in my career? Yeah, I think I would. I think I am for 2026 starting a project almost from scratch and embracing that challenge. So if I'm Ancelotti, I'm
interesting.
leaving.
Interesting stuff. Staying with another player, Cristiano Ronaldo was obviously the Portuguese national team was sent off last Saturday when they lost to Morocco. Fernando Santos had benched Ronaldo for the first for the game before that. They took advantage. That Ramos kid came in, hit a hat trick. I don't know if Santos thought that maybe he could hit lightning twice, but he benched Ronaldo for the Morocco game, and the Ramos kid wasn't even seen from or heard from in the whole game. JC, did Santos ruin the World Cup chance for Portugal by benching Ronaldo against Morocco?
Not necessarily. I would say no. Just
Whoa!
because just
I
because
want to hear this.
of just because of how they got scored on. I mean, the problem was what? The goalkeeper, right? He almost bottled
No, it
it
was Ruben
the
Diaz
game
losing
before
his
that.
mark, and then the goalkeeper having to make up for
I
it.
don't even want to start there. That guy's been getting beat all World Cup, man. I don't even know what the hype on him is all about, but that's a whole nother
Man City player.
conversation. It surprised
Benzema messed him up last year.
bad. And then he tries to play the tough guy, and then he gets checked back, and then he just goes and sits back and hides behind Pepe and like, hey, Pepe, bail me out. This guy's hitting me too hard. But it's just the way that they got scored on. I feel like he did drop the ball on the reaction after the goal. You got to go all out and try to get that goal back, and ref is going to do what he's going to do. But you as a coach, you got to put your full squad out there. But to get scored on that way, you really can't put it on the coach. That's a keeper's ball all day. That's a keeper's ball. Both hands up there, secured. That's my number one problem with goalies these days. They don't use their hands. They rather punch it out instead of catching it and being aggressive in the air. He's not aggressive in the air. He got little. It showed. They got scored on. Best case scenario for Morocco. Worst case scenario for Portugal. And, the rest, as they say, is history. But I don't think it's coach's fault for that goal. The reaction, yes, but the goal, no.
Eddie?
I think absolutely it's the coach's fault. Like, how on earth are you going to bench Ronaldo for this do or die game? I don't understand it. No one understands it. Super disrespectful to Ronaldo. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Another questionable choice, Diogo Costa, who has looked shaky at best the entire tournament. Where's your other keepers? And my thing is, if you're Portugal, why didn't you impose your talent on Morocco? Yeah, they scored the goal, but why throw the Hail Mary flag and say, hey, you know what? we're just going to throw all these players in and panic and just forget about the way we play. Just forget about it. Start launching long balls. Start doing things that we don't really do as a team and lose all the structure, lose all the cohesion that the team had. Bruno Fernandes ended up playing right back like towards the end of the game. Like, it's unbelievable. You put Ronaldo in the last 40 minutes of the game or whatever it was, and you only get the ball to him 10 times. I think I saw a stat. 10 times? The guy is your leading goal scorer. The guy is Portugal. And you get him the ball 10 times? I don't want to start Fernando Santos. I hope he's out, and I hope they bring Jose Mourinho.
Oh, wow. There you go. Last one. Speaking of Ronaldo, he was practicing at the Valbabas over in Madrid, over at their camping ground. It said that him and Papa Perez have a good relationship, that some of the players were taken back by it. Some of the youngsters, I guess, from the Castilla and all these other teams ran over and tried to get him to sign autographs and take pictures that Ronaldo did. It wasn't just Ronaldo. Cristi Jr. was also practicing with them, working out together. Eddie, I'll start with you. Should, because of the good relationship that they have and everything, should Real Madrid, and this is another thing that Papa Perez said, that Ronaldo's welcome whenever he wants to go there and work out and do whatever he wants. But the question has to be asked, should they consider bringing back Ronaldo for maybe these last 6 months of the season?
Before I answer that question, if you're listening, Manchester United, this is how you're supposed to treat one of your best players ever, one of your legends. Disrespectful how you were treated at Manchester United, Ronaldo, and me as a Manchester United fan, I'm appalled. But to answer the question, I think you do bring him in, and the reason being is because that gives Benzema some time to rest, some time to not have to carry that burden again on his shoulders and take this team to win La Liga, to win whatever, Copa del Rey, to win champions. Ronaldo can still get you 20 goals that season. I think he's got a great working relationship with Ancelotti. Ancelotti loves him. Ancelotti knows how to, manage his players and manages the big egos in the locker room. I think Florentino Perez will look like a mastermind again. Here comes another Florentino masterpiece where he brings in Ronaldo mid-season before Champions League knockout stages. And by the way, Manchester United didn't play the Champions League. So what does that mean? Ronaldo can play in Champions League. So, wow.
Can you imagine having?
Wow.
Can you imagine throwing in Rodrigo, Camavinga, and Cristiano Ronaldo as your backup guys to finish a game? I mean, that would be ridiculous. J.C., what do you think?
Madness.
Should Real Madrid consider this?
As a fan, and just of Madrid and Cristiano, I would love to see it. Should it happen? Probably not. You want to leave on a high note. You want to leave on a good note. If it happens, am I going to be opposed to it? Heck no. Of course I want to see Cristiano wear the all whites again. But it's a double-edged sword. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And definitely I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a downside to it. There's going to be a lot of noise if he doesn't do well. But, if he comes in and you set an expectation that he's just here to help us in any way he can, instead of framing him as the great hope, then you're fine, honestly. And Ancelotti knows exactly what to do with a guy like Cristiano. He's coached him, and it's a great time. I would love to see him there as a fan, but realistically speaking, it's a tough shell to crack. I don't know. It's tough to say.
I'm going to give it to you guys for real. And this is just me. Right now, Ronaldo needs someone. He needs somebody to help him out. Manchester City have turned their back on him. The Portuguese national team, whatever you feel like about the Portuguese national, they turn their back on Cristiano Ronaldo.
Not Piers Morgan.
But right now, somebody needs to turn to Ronaldo and try and help him protect, because right now they're trashing even his legacy because of everything going on, and it's disgusting.
Those are people who are ignorant.
Exactly, but it's terrible what's happening. I think right now the Real Madrid team could build a circle around Ronaldo in the middle, and they could protect him. They could protect his legacy. Guys like Vinicius, Rodrigo, Fede Valverde, those guys would feed off of playing with somebody like Ronaldo. Toni Kroos and Modric, I bet you would love to have him back in the locker room helping him out.
You're thinking too small. Look at this. Look at this scenario. You signed Ronaldo for the 6 months. You're talking about Mbappe leaving PSG? Who's his idol?
Ronaldo.
savor the chance to play with Ronaldo at least one season at Madrid? What if
No,
Florentino
no,
Perez
I know,
kept
but I'm
promising
thinking
that?
like I'm thinking right now because right now his legacy's dude. You have teams like Bayern Munich. You have teams, all these top teams that are like, no, we don't want him because he's controversial. He's not controversial. His problem is that everybody talks so much crap about him. The media talks so much crap about him that nobody wants to deal with him. And I feel like him as a player isn't even all that much to shelve on top of it. I feel like he's a guy that can literally come in, help your team get over. Bayern Munich needs a striker, and you're not going to go get one of the best players in the world and bring him in. It's disgusting the way teams are
Your
treating him.
kryptonite, by the way, who's always knocked you out of Champions League contention. And
Another thing,
so
and hey, Neuer was on holiday and he broke his leg. He's now
skiing, by the
done
way.
for the rest of the season. So what are you going to do? You're going to need somebody who's going to score goals and match teams for teams. Why not bring in Cristiano and help you? But obviously these teams just don't want to do it because they don't want the media backlash. Hey, how about the money that you're going to make by selling those 7 jerseys? You know how much money these teams would make if they got Cristiano Ronaldo to come in? It's just terrible. And I feel like right now, Papa Perez could really help him out and build kind of a shield around him. And hell, if you're Ronaldo, come in. I don't want the number 7 jersey. I don't care. I'll take whatever number you give me. I'll play in whatever you guys want me to, and I'll do what I need to do. If Ronaldo can come in, make an impact, stay quiet, and everything's good. And I know some of the media in Madrid hate him, and they'll probably write stuff about him. But if he can come in and do great things, that would only increase, I think, his legacy. If he wins another Champions League, that only brings it up even more. But I think somebody
to the fire.
But I think, I think somebody needs to extend a helping hand to him, and who better than Papa Perez, who loves Cristiano like a son. And he said it before, he loves him like a son. Well, right now, your son needs you, Papa. If I was you, I would think.
Here's an unorthodox proposition. Why not bring him in as a player coach? We've seen Ryan Giggs do that, right? We've seen other players do that, where not only are they playing, but they're also part of the coaching staff. And I think, hey, Ronaldo, maybe here's a Champions League game we're going to need you in, so this is where you're going to play. Or here's another cup game, this is where you're going to play.
This is what I would tell him. This is what I would tell him. You're going to play. You're going to start all the cup games. You're going to play in La Liga games here and there. Like one game start, one game Benzema starts. In Champions, I'm sorry, you're going to be coming off the bench. But I honestly think he would do it. I think if you gave him the game plan, and remember, don't lie to him. He does not like that. If you don't lie to him and you tell him exactly, well, I mean, JC, I'm just being honest. Like,
Ancelotti is not a liar. Let's stop there.
No,
right?
I know, but I'm saying, like,
Sir Carlo's not going to do that to him.
But okay, and I'm going to be honest. Eric Ten Hag, supposedly Cristiano said he lied to me about the way he was going to use me, which Ancelotti's obviously has a relationship with him. Papa Perez has a relationship with him. You just explain to him, this is the way I'm going to use, this is where we're going to use you. I'm sure Ronaldo would be fine with it. Is it going to be inching sometimes, like watching what's going on? Yeah, he will. But other than that, I think they should definitely consider it.
If you want to add some fuel to the fire, just look at the latest rumor I stumbled across. You want to go ahead and throw that up there?
I'll throw that up there.
If you really want to add some fuel to the fire and you want to connect some dots that maybe are not there, I'm just saying.
7.5 million.
I'm just saying, if you really want to connect some dots that might or might not be there, there
JC
you go.
Just sent me something where Eden Hazard might be heading to the. Eden Hazard might be heading to the.
That's not a rumor. That's happening. Come on now.
But it could be happening. It could be happening.
The 7, I'm just saying, if the 7 is vacant and your 7 is a free agent, and you got Zidane's boy on his way out, here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying that it's these guys.
I see the dots you're connecting.
I mean, obviously, I don't mean to.
You guys threw some dots up there.
I don't mean to go off on a spiel, but I just think it's terrible what everybody's done to Ronaldo and
it is. But I mean, in he brought it on himself too.
No,
he's
he
a
did.
high-profile guy, and
he should have never had the interview, or the timing of the interview was bad. I think that's what it was.
It was, and he said he was going to talk about it, once the transfer window closed and he prolonged it, I guess, somebody got in his ear or something.
I mean,
You know,
United
maybe
pushed him into a
coached.
corner, and he felt that was the right thing to do at the time.
And now look at them.
Unfortunately, that's what happened.
The ownership is going to have to sell the club now because of how poorly they managed.
Well, because of the fallout, for sure, 100%.
And how poorly they're managing.
Could that be something positive?
It's a blessing in disguise for Manchester United. I think absolutely. I mean,
100%.
Well, I would love for Apple to buy.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I just think it's disgusting the way
somebody.
I just think it's disgusting the way he's been treated, and like you said, some of the things he brings on himself. But for guys like Bayern Munich and Chelsea and some of these other teams, we don't want him. Really? Like, you don't know
I think the saddest part about it was just some of his ex teammates like really throwing him under the bus, and I think he was hurt by that. I think the only real advocates of him were Roy Keane and Rio Ferdinand, and I think
shout out Mesut Ozil for that Instagram post.
Ozil's Instagram post. You seen it,
solid, man. He needed that.
No, and I mean, guys at Madrid have always said that they loved him, they loved playing with him. And I think who somebody just recently came out and they said that I think it was Perez. He said that Ronaldo was never a nuisance. He was never like, they never felt like, we have to deal with Cristiano. That if anything, he showed other teammates what they needed to be, that he'd be there at 5 a.m. working out, that he was always working out. He's always, he was never partying, that he was always doing what he needed to do. He was the example. That's what he used. And I'm sure if he went to Real Madrid, I'm sure those guys would welcome him back with open arms and they'd be excited to play with him again. But it's going to take one season.
And they win the Champions again.
And I think I saw a report today that he's willing to take a fat pay cut to play with Real Madrid.
He has to. He has to take a pay cut anywhere he goes.
100%.
He wants to compete at the highest level. He has to take the pay cut.
What else do you want if you're Real Madrid? I mean, he's literally saying, "Hey, I'll take a pay cut. I'll do X, Y, and Z. Whatever you guys want me to do." Like, he's willing to jump all these hoops to play. So I don't know.
What are your odds that he goes to Real Madrid and signs to Madrid? What are your odds?
Oh God.
Nothing. I don't think he'd go. I don't think they pull the trigger. But I respect them for
true that they might.
I think what they're trying to do, though, 100%. I think they're trying. You know what I think they're trying to do? They're trying to look at behind Cristiano, Cristi Jr. I think that's what they're like. They're like, hey, we just
hey,
they just signed Enzo. They just signed Marcelo's kid. They just signed, I think, Lucas Vasquez and Nacho. All three of their kids, and I think they're trying to go now for Cristi Jr.
And they're gonna get Ramos's kids in there.
Cristi Jr.
the whole band back together.
Well, yeah, Cristi Jr. right now is a free agent. He left Manchester United too.
Yeah.
The boy's a free agent. How about that?
I'm just saying. Exactly. But obviously, guys, thank you guys so much for joining this preview episode of Compas FC. We'll be doing a lot more stuff. We'll be doing breaking down the final as soon as that game comes to zeros. We'll see how we can get that episode together, if we get it together that day or the next day, but we will be doing that. And guys, don't forget the Compas have teamed up with Homage. Get all your t-shirt needs. Christmas is coming up. Dan and Diego showed you exactly the t-shirts that he has. He has a Justin Herbert one, Keenan Allen, another Justin Herbert one, a lot of LA Chargers gear. They have Rams gear. They have a lot of stuff, a lot of other t-shirts, WWE. They have some good stuff. Don't forget to check it out on /Compas NFL. Go in there, let them know the Compas sent you. They have one of my favorite shirts. It says, guys, it's a 90s reference. Topanga was my first crush. Oh. I know a lot of Boy Meets World fans. I know that
the Pink Ranger.
The Pink Ranger. Hillary Duff, that was another one of mine. I thought she was fire growing up.
Lizzie McGuire,
definitely,
huh? All
right. She's still fire. So definitely a lot of good stuff. Thank you to Homage for teaming up with the Compas. Maybe Compas FC has them start doing some soccer stuff so that we can get some soccer gear from that as well. So we appreciate that so much. Guys, don't forget to check out Compas on the beat. We talked about the Cincinnati Bengals. Gilbert broke it down. He was on the beat for 4 years. He thought Justin Herbert outplayed Tua Tagovailoa. It wasn't even close. Great performance by Justin over the weekend. And then obviously, obviously we look forward. We give you guys our rankings and what we have looking forward to this weekend. Don't forget to check out What's up, Bolts? I couldn't find a journalist to talk to me, so who better to go to than Lorenzo Neal, former Chargers fullback, former Tennessee Titans fullback. He breaks it all down. He talked about Justin Herbert, and he used the name Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, and the word better than. So I don't know. You guys can mix and match all those words. That's what Lorenzo said. Go check that out. House of Horns. Guys, Gilbert's going to be in Green Bay on Monday. It is supposed to be 5 degrees in Green Bay. Mexicans don't do well in the cold. We'll see what kind of updates Gilbert sends us from the frozen tundra that is Green Bay, Wisconsin. And guys, don't forget, like we told you guys, Comeback Compas will be making a comeback as soon as the year's over. AEW is coming to Los Angeles. We'll see who AEW lets us talk to. Maybe MJF, maybe another one of the wrestlers. Then WrestleMania is coming to LA. The Compas will be there. We will be doing some cool stuff at WrestleMania for WrestleMania week. But we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys again for checking out Compas FC. Again, be on the lookout Sunday or Monday for the wrap-up show. And then we got some more surprises as Compas FC continues to move on. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to JC. Thank you to Eddie. Appreciate you guys again for your expertise. And everybody have a great weekend.